Okay, we're going to look at the 144,000 Jews who are the 144,000 sealed in Revelation chapter 7 verses uh, 1 coming down to 8. It reads this way. I think we just read from the 3, from verses 3. It says this way: Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until I put a seal on the heads of the servants of God. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed: 144,000, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. Verses 5: From the tribe of Judah, 12,000 were sealed. From the tribe of Reuben, 12,000. From the tribe of Gad, 12,000. From the tribe of Asher, 12,000. From the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000. From the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000. From the tribe of Simeon, 12,000. From the tribe of Levi, 12,000. From the tribe of Issachar, 12,000. From the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000. From the tribe of Joseph, 12,000. From the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000. So there were 12,000, 12,000 from all the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, who are they? We are going to look at who are they. There are a lot of speculations and interpretation concerning who these 144,000 are. Uh, Much especially the Jehovah Witnesses, they believe that these 144,000 are the exact figure of people will uh, who will be redeemed from the earth, and then they will spend eternity with God, and then they will reign with Christ. So they have the belief that it is only 144,000 people who are going to be redeemed from the earth and then have spend eternity with God and reign with Christ. But I don't think that is so. If you look at this place, Revelation chapter 7, what the 144,000 here, you realize that at this stage, the church has been raptured. The church is already gone. I made us to understand the other time that when we talk about the tribulation, when we're talking about the tribulation, don't think of the church again, because that 7 years, the church is no longer on earth here. So the church is already gone. So don't think of these people being the church. So just erase the church out of your mind. But there are people who will come to Christ. They are Jews who will come to Christ after the rapture. They will come to Christ. They will believe. They will have faith in Christ after the rapture. So they are the people that will be sealed. And it is this way. They can either be actual 144,000, or maybe it will be a figure that represent, let's say, a number of people who will be saved. It can just be a figure to represent some number of Jews that will be saved, that will be sealed. But it is not just, let's say, it may not just be an exactly 144. There may be more than that. And their responsibility is to take the gospel to out the other parts of the world. That is their work. If you remember the two witnesses, they will be assigned to only in Jerusalem. But these people will take the gospel to other parts of the world, the other parts of the other nations. That is what they will do. So these two possibly these two opinion, any of them can be possible. It can be possible that they can be exactly 144,000. It can also be that the 144,000 is just a figure. It's just a numerical figure. It's a typology to represent a, let's say, a completeness of the sealed people, the evangelists. They are going to be evangelists. They are the evangelists, Jews evangelists, those who come to Christ, those who accept Christ after the rapture. So it can just be a representative, a figure that they have just mentioned to be like, let's say, like a word like the seven spirits of the seven spirits of God. It doesn't necessarily mean that God is having seven spirits, but it is talking about the completeness, the perfection, the wholeness, the completeness, the complete work of the Holy Spirit. So here can also be a figurative, speaking about a complete number of people that God is targeting to use the Jews. You remember that I said in this tribulation, God is now turning back. God has turned back to the Jews, because God deals with, right now God is dealing with the church. So even if you are if you are a Jew or an Israelite, and you're not part of the church right now, that means God will not deal with you. But at this tribulation era, God will now move and leave the church, because by then there won't be any church. God will now shift his focus to the Jews, because he's still left with 5 years. Sorry, he's still left with 7 years to end with them. The other time I made us to understand that the 7 years tribulation, they are the Old Testament years that God did not finish, and they are bringing them into the New Testament. So in the Old Testament, God was dealing with Israel alone. So he's going to continue with them and complete it. So they are the Old Testament years that have been brought into the New Testament. The New Testament. Good. So this one for the 4,000, they are what we call, they are Jews, they are evangelists. So either it is a figure, a figurative speech, meaning a large number of people, or it can be exactly one for the 4,000 people. And God will seal them. God will seal them from the harm of the enemy, that's the Antichrist, and from the wrath of God. As he sealed them, there's nobody who can touch them. Good. So if we continue to read the same chapter, you see that from chapter 7, verses 9, let's look at the verses 9. You see that through their preaching, multitude of nations, people, multitude from different nations, multitude of people from different nations gave their life to Christ, and they are murdered, they are killed, and then they are being raptured. Let us read there from the verse 9. After this, Revelation 7:9. After this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and in front of the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and holding palm branches in their hands, and they cried out in a loud voice, Salvation. Okay, have you seen? So it's because of these people they are preaching. I said these people, they will be assigned to the other nations aside the Jews, Jerusalem, because the two witnesses, they will be concentrating in the Jews. That is the two, Jerusalem. But these 144,000 evangelists, the Jews that will be saved, they are going to go out to the other nations. They will take the gospel to the other nations. So it is through their preaching. It is through their preaching. That is why this multitude of people are giving their life to Christ. And as they are giving their life to Christ, what will happen is that it means they are refusing the mark of the beast. And as they are refusing the mark of the beast, what will happen? They will be killing them, they will be murdering them, they will murder them, they will kill them. That is why it says what? They are standing before the throne. So they will kill them. So while they kill them, they continue going. While they are killing them, they continue going. Because if you die, your soul will go, your soul will go to heaven, and then your body will remain waiting for the second coming, for your body to resurrect. So as they are killing them, they are going. As they are killing them, they are going. Okay, let us read here. Let us read here. Let's continue. We are going to read the verse 18. Let's jump to chapter 7, verse 18 of Revelation. And you see. Then one of the elders asked me, these in white robes, who are they, and where did they come from? So one of the elders then asked John, John, this multitude of people, who are they, and where are they coming from? Good. I said, if you read the back, it says what? They keep on coming, appearing before the throne of God. They keep on coming. So the angel asked John, who are these people? So let's see what John answered. John said, verse 14, I answered, sir, you know. And he said, these are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Have you seen? They are the people, those who come out of the great tribulation. So they are coming out, coming out. The original word is not the original word of the word come is coming. So they keep on adding every day. They keep on going there every day. Keep on going every day. They are coming out. They are coming out of the tribulation. So it is through this 144 Jews evangelists. They preach. It is through their preaching. That's why these people are giving their life to Christ, and they are going to heaven. So this one for the 4,000, they are not. Maybe some people think that this is where the church is. That is why they say the church will go through the tribulation. So as they are still here, some are saying that that is the church. So God will seal the church. God will seal the believers from the harm of the Antichrist. No, these sealed people they are evangelists, and they are the people who will take over after the church is being raptured. after the church is being raptured. It's like this. When Christ left, he handed over the gospel to the 12, to the church. And now the church, if the church is also going, then the gospel have to also hand over to who? These people. So these people will take over. The two witnesses are also part, and then angels will also come and be part. So as whilst we are going, because God is a gracious God, He's a gracious God, so He always wants mankind to be saved. So while the church is going, they will hand over the gospel to others. Christ hand over to the church. The church will also hand over to these tribulation saints. So they will also take over and continue. So they are not the church. So don't think that here they are sealed. They are sealed because they are sealed. That is the church that God will seal them, and then they will go through the tribulation. No, they are not the church. Good. So these people, how many years they are going to prophesy for? They will talk. They will spread the word for about 3.5 years. That is 42 months, or 1,260 days. And after they have finished, what happened? They will be taken to heaven. They will be redeemed. Let us read here. Revelation 14, verses 1 to 5. So when they finish, they will then be taken. Let us read there. Revelation chapter 14, verse 1 through 5. Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb standing on Mount Zion with the 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. Good. If you look at this Mount Zion, this is not just the physical Mount Zion in Jerusalem. This is heavenly Mount Zion. That is what I'm trying to say. It is not earthly. Let me put it this way. It is not earthly Mount Zion in Jerusalem, but this one is heavenly Mount Zion in Jerusalem. So the Lamb, that is Jesus Christ, is now standing with the 144 Jews evangelists. They have been redeemed from the earth. How do we know? Because he said what? His name and his father's name have been written on them, on their foreheads. His name and his father's name have been written on their foreheads. Let us read this place. Revelation 3:12. We'll come back there. I want us to look at why we said this place, they are in heaven, but they are not on earth here. Revelation 3:12. It says this way: Him who overcome, I will make a pillar in my temple. In the temple of my God. Never again will he leave it. I will write on him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, and the new Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven, uh, out of heaven from my God, and I will also write on him my name. So this is a promise given to who? Those that overcome. He will write your name. And I said to overcome here simply to stand on the faith till the end, till you die and say, no, I'm dying for the gospel. So to see these people names, maybe the name of God and the name of Christ being written on them, it means they are overcomers. So these people are called, they are overcomers. As we are seeing them here, they have finished their work. The 42 months, they have finished the 3.5 years, they have finished their prophecy, their things, what God called them to do, and they have been wrapped. Okay, so this they have now overcome, and then Christ has now, what did he do? He wrote his name and then his father's name on their foreheads, as he promised in Revelation 3:12. Good. So let us read it and finish. So let's read it and finish. Verses 2. And I heard a sound from heaven like a roar of rushing water, and like a loud peal of thunder. The sound I heard was like that of the harpists playing their harp, and they sang a new song before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders. No one could learn the song except the 144 who had been redeemed from the earth. Good. So if you even proceed to look at it, you realize that the song that they were singing it before the throne of God, and then it was in heaven. The 144, the four living creatures, and then those that were playing those things, the instruments, those that were playing the instruments, all those people, they were doing that thing in the present in heaven. So here they have been redeemed and they are now in heaven. So they have finished their work, and then they have now been redeemed, and they are in heaven. So the song that they were singing, no one could sing it except those, the 144 evangelists who were redeemed. That is why some people always stand here and say, okay, it is only 144 people who will go to heaven. It is just that is why they Jehovah Witness people are standing to say that only 144 people who are going to spend eternity with God and reign with Christ. But that is not the truth. That is not the truth. If that's not the truth, because as we read the chapter 7, verses 9, we have seen the multitude of people are going. Multitude, many people are going. So these 144,000 people, there are no any other person than Jews evangelists, and they are not the church. They are great. They are part of. They are one of the great tribulation group. Those who come to Christ, who come to faith, who come to believe in Christ after the rapture. They accept Christ after the rapture, after the church has already gone. So they believed, and God picked them and sealed them, and then used them for the 3.5 years. Thank you for your time. May the Lord bless you, and then keep you. If you have not subscribed, you subscribe, because this channel we're talking about facts and then end times events, which we need to know what is going on or what will take place. So if you have not subscribed, you subscribe, like. If you have any comment, and if you have any question, leave it at the comment section, and I will try to see if I can answer it. Thank you. May the Lord bless you.